like a tribe does. Before this, did you really know what I was? Comprehend to the track force, why? Cause give me.
All right, guys, Scar. This one's for you. The beat is fire and I'm ready to go. Because it's time for the Basco scenario. Some people like flair, some people like flash. But if it ain't hot, some people call it trash. I call him vanilla chocolate. He just like money fits well in my pocket. Watch it now, or watch it later. His name's so fly, it means liberator. Sit back, relax, and watch the show. Gascar, get ready, man. It's time to go. Peace. Basco scenario coming to you each and every week. Peace.
Is there any stuff?
Yo. Run it. All the technical mess up this. I apologize, man.
I was sitting there like, your kid's in the room or something? What's going on?
Yeah, well. Oh, man. My intro, like, I did a new intro. I changed Danny's name to the Road of Wisdom, right? But Danny Road of Wisdom. And for some reason, when I transferred the file to upload, it wouldn't upload. And then I'm like, okay, I can do it this way. And then you saw it just stopped. So I'm like, son of a gun, right? And I had deleted the other ones, and I didn't have a copy of the other ones. And then I forgot to flip up the lid on my little camera, and then I forgot to put myself on things. How you feeling, DJ?
Remember that Sunday night I was screaming, I was like, I got a cold, man. I'm gonna get off. Yeah, that cold turned into a nightmare. I got the vid.
You got the vid?
Got the vid. Yeah, second time getting it, man. Yeah, that after I got off that night streaming, man, it was probably about half an hour later. I was like violently like shaking and like shivering, man. My fever spiked up. It's like 103, 104 that night. Yeah.
Hallucinations?
No, but I had to change the bed sheets like 3 times because of all the sweat and everything.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, those damn night sweats. So I got my pop fizz right here, ready to go in a second. I'm drinking the Pedialyte and freaking got all the medicine and everything. So I actually feel a little bit better today. So it ain't too bad. I mean, it's bad, but not as bad as it was. Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on, bro. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. How's everybody else doing?
Doing all right.
Doing okay.
Yeah. Jason?
Hey, man. What's going on? Doing good.
How you doing, bud? Doing good? Good.
Yeah, I started coughing, so I didn't do cough.
You're catching the vid right through
That's that new strain right there. That's that digital strain.
Fiber optics, man. 4K upload.
Oh, man.
To your throat. Oh my gosh. No, man. Listen, guys. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate every week when you guys come aboard. Danny's on the road, so he'll jump on if he can. If not, just be safe, Danny. So latest episode of Ahsoka, man.
Oh yes.
Oh
yes.
Oh yes. Is it an oh yes for everybody, or is it like oh yes? You said awesome? Jason,
that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, I think it's the best episode of the season. And I did say last week that this was going to be Dave Filoni's episode, so it's going to be a big reveal.
Dave Filoni was this one Dave Filoni's, or is next?
I think it was. I think this one was Dave. Is next week? I thought this one was Dave Filoni, I believe.
I think it was the guy who did this one of the Spider-Verse. They said or something. One of the director. I think that's what they were saying. I think that's what they were saying on one of they were talking.
Peter, it was Peter Ramsey.
So next week is on his.
Yeah, next week is his. So next week we know it's going to be something huge.
Big. I think we might see Tron next weekend.
It would not surprise me, but right now they're like they got to give us more Anakin for sure. We're getting Anakin next week.
I mean, we're in the
on it. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we did say that we thought that the map was the world in between worlds, but they did kind of use the map to go in the throne because he got thrown off, but now he's in the world between worlds. So
it's
I know, right? Go ahead.
Isn't next week episode a rumor to have in some theaters? I was hearing some for that on.
I don't know. I hear about that.
They might be putting it in the next week's episode in some theaters, like some of the bigger theaters.
As a viewing, it's possible.
Yeah, viewing, because I supposedly this next week's episode is supposed to be
Probably
like
big.
we're going to get some real meat, juice on it.
I mean, you gotta have it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think visual effects was amazing in this one. I loved like when that thing took off and then the lightsaber fight. I mean, it was like some of the best special effects I've seen in a Star Wars show in a long, long time.
Well,
the only issue I had was that the de-aging they did was a little sloppy.
Yes.
It wasn't as clean as I thought they could have done. But other than that,
it's not Anakin though. It's that Darth Vader thing. It's not a true Anakin though.
Well, we don't know that, right? Because now, so we don't know if it's like the world between worlds, or is it actually the after plane of that's where you go when you become one with the Force, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know that, because the other thing right away when I finished watching the episode, I texted Danny. I'm like, did Anakin just pull freaking Ahsoka from like Ezra did? But then that means that Anakin somehow in the past knew about it into the same.
But isn't the world in more like a time thing too? So it could be a different version of Anakin within that time, whatever. So
yeah.
Well, that's what they're saying. It's Vader's lightsaber, and then they had that Vader theme playing.
Yeah.
Right after so that makes it go like, what the fuck's going on?
It's like a multiverse Vader,
Yeah.
Jason is right. Episode 5 of Ahsoka will be shown in selected theaters.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's supposed to be featuring Anakin and possible marking the live action debut of Bond.
See, that's why I said I think he's going to be in next week's episode.
Right.
Which makes sense. That episode 5 and 8 episodes, and we're going to build to a climax at the end.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna. I took some points down from when I watched it. After I watched it, what did you guys think about the Sabine Ahsoka combo fighting scene?
I liked it.
Yeah,
them tag team.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
You liked it. I like the combination. I like that the droid, right? It goes, you always did better together, right? So stick together. And you notice that right away when they separated, that was it. Mm-hmm. That was the demise of both parties, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool. I like the whole Beskar, her using her Beskar to deflect, use it to protect herself from the
I thought that.
But let's be honest, though, guys.
Uh-oh.
She did not have Force powers.
Nope.
And the other one did. She could have choked her anytime. You know when she choked her at the end? Why did she not do that earlier? Right? If she really wanted to win.
Because I feel like she thought that she's like beneath. She's beneath. Sabine's beneath her. So she's not going to use the Force. Because he's going to say you're weak. Remember? Say you're weak.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more of a, you're not worthy of me using the Force on you,
I guess.
So, but she did use the Force though, right? Because I was kind of Sabine. Yeah.
No, she didn't. She tried.
She tried.
She's like, you have no power.
It looked like she kind of slapped her a little bit with the Force.
I think it was like afraid that something was going to cut.
Like a flinch. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Shifty, thanks for being in the chat, man. Like always. There's no way Anakin pulled her into the world between worlds. Got to be limbo or near-death vision. So this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Palpatine manipulating. Because remember the scene in Rebels where he appeared as Palpatine Chancellor, but he was already Sidious then, right? And he was showing Ezra his parents, in the temple on Thrawn's ship on the final season of Rebels, and then Ezra destroys the temple, the reconstructed temple on Thrawn's ship. So I think it might be Sidious manipulating all that. Because why would we get the Vader song, like the Vader theme after, right?
Yeah, that's where it seems like it's nefarious because you heard the Vader theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock'em Sock'em robot nod was great. Yes, it was.
I thought that was pretty cool. It seemed like droids going hand in hand. He held his. He held. I like the program go shh. Like he trying to cover his mouth so he couldn't talk. Like,
yeah, seriously. Like it brought you back to 3PO, right? When Leia.
Yeah.
Was it Han? Yeah, I think it was Han that covered his mouth.
Yeah.
I think they both did it at one point. But hey Tim, thanks for being here. I think it's shrooms. Papa Palp is supposedly dead right now.
Okay. I felt like I was in the world between worlds the past couple of days.
That fever, man. I wouldn't blame you, man. I wouldn't blame you. All right, next one I had was Ahsoka versus Balin.
Good fight. Well, I think amazing fight. I liked his calm demeanor, and I felt like he didn't want to have to do this, but it was like unnecessary for him for his whatever his ultimate plan is. He has respect for her, but at the same time, he's like, "You're in my way, so I have to do what I got to do."
Explaining it to her, right?
Yeah.
You know, in order to start again, you have to destroy in order to rebuild.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, God rest his soul. I mean, Stevenson,
I know.
Actor.
It sucks we won't see him more.
A new character that's just he sit on that rock with his hood over like a boss, and he cut just and then just throwing little phrases back and forth to her. And he just and the way he did the Force and the lightsabers actions there with her. I mean, I was just like, wow. I said, it's a shame because I was like, I guess he will die. I guess it will because I can't imagine who could recast him. I mean, the way he played in that character.
Yeah.
You think he'll be even thought of recasting? I don't think so.
I think his character died. Yeah. But it still sucks because I would love to see more of him, his character going forward, because that performance he's putting on right now is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The whole thing that I found cool was how Ahsoka was changing her stance from different styles. Like, I don't know all the styles by heart, but you can tell she was changing her stance and her style. And I was shocked, actually, that she didn't even use her second saber.
I was saying the same. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
So she only pulled out the one.
Well, the thing is that I believe she didn't really use it because he was like, it's like a long sword saber that he was using, right? So it's heavy. So she needed both hands at all times on her saber in order to be able to deflect.
Because she had to use the Force one time to hold, her way through and her Force to hold him back at one point.
What was cool though was when Ahsoka thought Sabine was dead when she saw the padded one.
The little dark side came out of her.
You saw how like anger took over, right? Where she became more powerful and actually fought back, right? And yeah, man. When I saw her when I saw her fall through on the cliff, I was like, no way, she's dead.
She's not gonna be dead.
I don't know, man.
There was that one part. There was like a little slit of rock there. And I thought she was right on there, but they kept on going. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I like how they transition. It's like the water, and like you think the water's like brushing up against her, then you realize that she's in the actual.
Yep.
I will say this though. I liked how they did the fight scene where you actually, when you have a woman fighting a man, she's just not overpowering. She's not, holding her own. She was actually using
physics.
She was using leverage, like putting her foot on the wall because he's obviously stronger than her, but she was using leverage of her foot, angles and everything. So it makes sense how she was holding her own, not just, oh, I'm as strong as you, we can go at it.
Yeah. Tim says he could have chopped her legs off with those dumb off the rock twirls. It was strategic, man.
Yeah.
I didn't like DJ says, it was pretty tight, that whole fight scene.
Yeah.
I actually watched that scene over,
Yeah. It's funny. Someone pointed out that Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson crosses her arms a lot.
She does.
That's
her stance. That's her stance. But
I saw a YouTuber put it out there, and I'm like, is that really a thing? And then I started rewatching. I'm like, oh my god, it's true. It's all the time. And she did it again in this episode.
Yeah. Whenever she talks to me, she always crosses her arms. She's like,
Yeah.
Well, if you get like the cycle, she's probably guarded because everything that happened to her in life. She's probably real guarded. You want to like psychobabble about it and everything.
So it says, I like it though. Orange is the best color lightsaber. Yeah, it's there. Well, yeah, it was the not the Inquisitors. It was what was those Jedi that were in the temple that protected the temple?
I don't know.
Fuck, that's the name. I can't remember it.
Speaking of,
speaking of it, yeah, like. Go ahead, Jason.
Character.
What was that?
Speaking of the Inquisitor, wasn't that sort of a waste of a character?
Well, I think that was my next point. I think.
Yeah. So the green. My question: the green mist.
It's one of my points. Go ahead.
The green mist. That he was just a manifestation by her.
By the Night Sisters, yeah.
Wow.
Because remember that's what they did in one of the episodes of Rebels when she.
That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah.
That sisters and stuff like that. They were all like, brought.
Yeah.
It was the bones and stuff like that from the tombs, and they were green, right?
Well, I wish they would have revealed that, like ripped his helmet off, so we could see that, at one point. Yeah. It was. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It could have been an Inquisitor.
I like that shot when she killed him, because they panned out and you saw her doing the finish move, him out in the distance, but you were up close with Sabine and the other girl. The shot was, good and everything.
Yeah, and you see that's when I like the reaction of Shin, right?
Yeah,
you can see that she was like, "What?"
Well, yeah,
but yeah, man, Sabine's fight with her was pretty cool. I like the fact she was using her Mandalorian stuff, right? When she's like, "You have no power," and then she goes, she just goes, uses her mouth. I like that. I was thought it's cool. You have no power, and
then she does ninja vanish.
Yeah. Well, that's something George Lucas, right? Because he said that he took it from, like the Japanese samurai stories.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So that was pretty cool as well. What other thing? What else did I get here? Ahsoka waking up in the world between worlds. Is it the world between worlds though, or is it the Force afterlife?
Could be.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying world between worlds because it was prevalent in Rebels, so we know that that's what it would make sense. But I do understand where it could be like she's like in an afterlife situation, close to dying but not going to die. We've seen it a lot of times in movies where you see you're someone important, right before you die, and like you gotta go back or whatever. So it could be that situation too.
Yeah, like Blue Beetle, right?
Yeah.
Father.
Yeah.
This is our time, hijo.
Well, even what's his? I can't remember his name. Ray Stevens' character. What's his? It's Balon. He was talking. He said, "Oh, Anakin talked highly of you," but then he was like, "You're like your master," and then you touch, leads to destruction and all that stuff. So
that back and forth was good because he says, Anakin spoke highly of you, and then she goes, "It's funny he didn't speak
of you
at all." So I don't know, but I'm curious to know his backstory. I'm curious to know where he wrote who was his master and what was his role, right? Because you can tell by the way in the one-liners that he said throughout this whole series that he cares about the Jedi. He cares about, he obviously wants to try and reconstruct the Order, but in his image, with his beliefs.
Do you think we might see this before this series ends?
Dude, I think we might even get to see Luke. Because it makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, yeah. If they don't if they're bringing back Anakin, right?
Yeah.
Luke has destroyed the Emperor, right? If there's Thrawn, a threat the threat of another Empire war, why wouldn't Luke be involved? Right? Don't tell me he's there, reconstructing his temple stone by stone, and he's not going to be like, I can't, man. I'm building my school, guys. Type thing. Which is this droid's doing it. I think he can leave the droids going to freaking school while he goes and does a mission. God, he left to go pick up, Grogu. Didn't last too long. Well, lasted 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how many years is this after the Mandalorian season? Was it season 3?
I saw a timeline. I gotta find that timeline again. That kind of tells you exactly where everything's taking place. Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it takes place in.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit this chat now, guys. Unless you got something else to say about that. Take that as no. She has to die in a sense so she can follow Gandalf and turn it into her white form before resting time. I guess that's like what we saw in Rebels at the end, right? She was in a white cloak with her staff. Hera does it. Sabine does it. Ahsoka all the time. Yeah, the arm crossing. Yeah, it's true. They had yellow sabers. Night Sisters can raise the dead. Yes, exactly. I forgot about that until Jason on Salty Stream mentioned it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was rumors that they were going to bring Maul back. I heard even rumors that.
Well, maybe it was Maul in that Inquisitor thing, right? He's a dual blade lightsaber wielder. I don't know. Who knows, man? But I was like saying, man, when I saw he died, I looked over at my wife. I'm like a fart in the wind. All those theories about Marok meant absolutely nothing. Right? Maybe he wasn't a good guy or a bad guy. He was just a freaking possessed. He was a gas.
It was just a pawn.
Yeah, it was a pawn, right? But you see, Sabine's helmet was red. Remember, I kept saying that. Why is Sabine's red? And now we know why, because she gave in and gave the map to Balin, right?
Sabine does get my nerves a little bit. Like she's always like just, you know, first it was don't take this outside the ship. What's she do? Take it outside the ship. Destroy it. Here, I'll give it to the bad guy again. You know, it's like
yeah, it was really, yeah, I get you. Like my wife said it too as well. I was like, I'm glad that we're getting some more Ahsoka in this episode, she was saying, because I thought this was Sabine's show at one point, right? Oh my God.
Hey, I just you know, it was kind of cool seeing Ahsoka World Between Worlds or Afterlife. But it notices like a lot of things showing a lot of afterlife scenes all of a sudden. I'm like, okay, not just here. But you know, of course, you know, Black Panther and then Blue Beetle did it, and I'm like, okay, well, so make this a habit now.
Well, you know they don't need a map. They got a tracking device on that one of them hyperdrives, so they already got the map. They were gonna know where it's going.
That is true. I forgot about that. Chopper had put one on.
That's gonna come out. Oh, we don't need it. The Chopper's gonna say, oh, we got a tracking device.
Chopper's the freaking hero, man.
Yeah, unsung hero. He's still a war criminal though, but still
still war criminal.
That's a good tracking device, man, to go through 2 galaxies.
If it can go into like hyperspace and they can track that shit, damn.
Hey, it says here Mandalorian season 3 finale takes place before the event seen in Ahsoka episode 1 and 2. So I don't know where this one is.
4. Okay. All right. Sure. All right. Shifty says, I'm not disagreeing with DJ. I'm just like trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, I'm into
Marok being revealed to be a raised spirit in combination of Sans Witwer being involved in the show leads to the belief Maul may be returning as a ghost. Man thing. Who knows? It's possible. At this point, I am making no theories, man. At all. Because everybody going, ooh, and all the YouTubers, yeah, it's definitely Star Killer. It's definitely for sure, for sure. Slash.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Dust. Dust in the wind.
Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
Next episode, they got to all regroup. So they got to get a whole group together. You know, they have to go get the Power Rangers with Boba Fett, and they're gonna have to go get Grogu.
Power Rangers. Stop it.
Oh no! You
listen,
didn't.
I
get those.
I think
Bob Iger is going to have to appear to pay Gina Carano for she can reappear in the episode.
Oh my God, dude! Mike, stop it!
I think we might see Zeb next episode.
I was about to say
because you remember the one pilot that I can't remember his name, the one we seen all that the shows. He talked to Zeb.
You mean Kim? From
Kim, yeah, and he was there. So I mean, he might try to get. He lost 2 X-wing pilots, so he needs somebody.
Yeah,
that was ballsy. Playing Kim with a freaking big ass ring, freaking. They were saying that's huge.
Well, how about Hera being worst mom of the year, taking your son out in that dangerous mission? You can find a babysitter.
Hey man, I believe in homeschooling and real life schooling.
Yeah.
Hey man, there's people in the United States that take their children on RVs along the world. Fuck school.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, Danny was wrong about the whale being in the middle, but I wonder if Fran's out there with his ship, maybe that ring to connect on his ship is to bring him back in, and that's
possible. I don't know how big that is compared to a Star Destroyer. Yeah.
My question is, how are they going to get there? I mean, they could track them. How are they going to get there?
Well, that's what they're doing. That's what they jumped to. They jumped because that's what they needed.
I mean Hera and Ahsoka and them.
It's going to be Chopper's super duper tracker.
Well, yeah,
but they'll have to get they're gonna have to get a better ship though.
You're gonna say they can't jump that far. They can't jump that. That's why he built that big.
They're not as fast. That's right.
And it's a long distance. You're holding a galaxy now. Not just going across. It's a whole different galaxy.
You know what that means?
Absolutely right.
Maybe the whales.
2 filler episodes. We'll have to go back to the junkyard and build another ship.
So this was episode.
I think the whales come in play.
We have 4 more episodes, guys. I wonder how long. How long is the next week's episode going to be?
This one was 34 minutes.
It's Filoni. I think I probably 50s.
45, 50, hopefully.
Will we see Thrawn next week?
I think we'll see the back of his head next week.
At the end, probably.
At the end, yeah.
The back of his noggin.
Yep. It'll be that one. It's the one scene from the trailer. It'll probably be that one scene from the trailer we see.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, all I needed to see is 2 glowing red eyes back in Mandalorian when he's out there in the desert behind a cactus or something. And that wouldn't have cost so much CGI, man. Just had 2 glowing eyes back there behind a cactus.
Tim says this is where Filoni and Sharinigus mushrooms.
Sharing his mushrooms.
Sharing his mushrooms. Yeah, well, you know what? Anakin never found the world between worlds, though. I know he didn't, but
yeah,
man,
it's weird, man. That's why I'm like,
I want to see where they're taking this.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people from, I'm not going to say haters, but those very strong critiquers are pissed, right? Because they're saying, fan service of just giving us Anakin. Yes, but it's so divided. This fandom is unbelievable. You
can do everything right, and some will still complain. in this
100%. 100%. But I want to see, is it truly Anakin? Because that, like we said before, right? The whole Vader theme at the end of it.
Maybe a vision. Maybe it's a vision she's having.
Palpatine, yeah.
I think it might be Palpatine because Palpatine already played that.
Yeah,
right. With Ezra,
after wasn't Palpatine in the world between the worlds, or he got his part of spirit in there somehow.
It was exactly. It was his presence, right?
Part of the spirit trapped in there or something, too.
Yeah. And then when Ezra actually destroys it, that's where he becomes in the form of Sidious, right? You see him. Anakin. Okay, that said that. I honestly think this is a vision for Ahsoka. Yeah,
it could be.
Yeah, very, very possible. I think that's the only thing for me that makes sense. But damn, that CGI was bad though of his face.
Yeah, Jack.
I saw that. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best.
That was bad. This show is set up for Filoni's movie. They'll save Luke for the movie. Apparently, all the other shows are part of that too. So who knows? Who thinks Bo-Katan's gonna come up in this?
Not yet. I think she's more tied into the Mandalorian right now.
Yeah. That's why I want to know the timeline thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, DQ, man? Thanks for being here. Go Expos absolutely all day, every day. The tracker is on the ship that brought the hyperdrive, not the hyperdrive itself.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Maul returns would be a kick-ass. Would it be, though? How many times do I have to bring this guy back? Frick, man. Sup, yo? What's up, Bozo? Gina don't need Star Wars. Gina's done, man. Gina's not coming back to Star Wars. Unless they sell to Apple, and then Apple.
On Apple.
I'm telling you. You heard about that? Rumored. Apparently, it's rumored to be.
I need to.
No, I don't know, man. You said Disney Plus is going to be Disney Apple.
Well, they pissed their. Well, I don't know because they pissed everybody on ESPN by.
Yeah. Can't get pulling. Yeah.
Shutting the games off this last week.
It's big enough.
That's what she says.
It's big. Damn, guys. Anakin teaches Ahsoka to commune with the whales to take everyone to the Milky Way galaxy. Something along those lines are going to happen, man.
The whales are coming back.
Or not.
Yeah, Grogu. Yeah.
Oh, maybe the Hera's son.
Maybe Hera and all them don't make it there.
Maybe Ezra makes it back.
And then they come back.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe they bring him back, and then they're.
And there's and that movie is actually the war against Thrawn.
That's how it ends. And the ship comes back, and it's Thrawn's ship, and Hera's like, "Oh shit! I try to warn you guys."
Yeah. They got you with the pants down again.
They should end it.
Be a hell of a cliffhanger.
They should end it with Luke on that island drinking that milk and go, and that's what.
Oh God, we're not talking about space cows, are we?
Here, Ahsoka, this is how my father taught me. Tatooine and get blue milk. Squeeze.
No,
squeeze.
please, no.
Space cows and whales. They won't put a lot of time into Thrawn if there's going to be a reset. This, what do you guys think? This is a soft reboot, I think, of the whole series, right? This whole, I have a feeling that's what they're doing.
Soft reboot or a different direction?
Like soft.
Like,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead, Austin.
Well, I've been gone a while, so the soft reboot thing, I guess they could do it, and it would be an easy way for them to sort of say, hey, the sequels aren't really canon, but they kind of still are in a sense. But at the same time, it goes back to my problem with the multiverse as a whole, where it's just really lazy, and it's basically a lazy, and the World Between Worlds is just a lazy way to say, yeah, we screwed up, so we're just going to kind of reboot, but we're not really going to reboot. Now, granted, I do not like the sequels, as pretty much all of us do not, unless a couple of us do. But as a whole, yes, in a perfect world, would I like the sequels to not be canon? Sure. Because let's be honest, they're trash. But to me, unfortunately, and this is the unfortunate part, it's not like a book, a video game, like a comic book. Like, the problem is Disney spent a shit ton of money on these movies, and as much as we hate to admit it, they still make money.
Yeah.
But why can't we reboot? I mean, Star Trek rebooted. Every other damn franchise. Why can't Star Wars reboot?
I think it's because of the legacy.
Right.
It's too much. It's too much to reboot.
It's the legacy, and there's a heavy. I won't say bigger than Star Trek, but the impact that Star Wars
is bigger.
Did.
It's bigger than Star Trek. Yeah. Next me, and I'm a Trekkie, so.
Well, and also the problem with rebooting is what is there to reboot? Like, how many? Like, so let's use this as a hypothetical. Let's say they're like, all right, screw this. This sucks. We're gonna reboot everything.
Right.
Why would I want to spend money to see a rebooted version of A New Hope? Because we technically got that with Force Awakens. It was technically just A New Hope, but just done in a more rebooted sense.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, why would I want to see this entire franchise done over again when not only those movies make a shit ton of money, just by resells?
And here's my thing with the reboot is like Star Wars being what it is, how they always did 3 episodes at a time. Mm-hmm. With the reboot, we already know what will happen. Like and that kind of kills the mystery of what's happening next that Star Wars had over the decades that it built to what it is now. A reboot, you wouldn't get that same effect because everyone already knows basically what is going to happen.
Well, if you reboot, start up the old Republic, start
well, that's what we've said.
That's what I agree with that. Go a different storyline if you're going to do something.
Absolutely, way before the Skywalker.
Yeah. Keep Star Wars what it is, but do a different storyline within Star Wars.
100%. But basically, what I think this is going to be, it's going to be Dave Filoni's universe.
Yeah,
that's what direction they're going, and the sequels are still the prequels. The sequel trilogy is still going to be there, but you're going to have this branch breaking off, and you're going to get this whole role with Thrawn. And I think, depending how well that does, then you might see a whole other Star Wars.
Well,
I think we're going to see
might
more.
Not have to deal with Luke and all that. Well, Rey's going to be involved and all this other bullshit.
I know Rey. Yeah. Well, they talked about that Filoni was back in Rebels. The Uzon Bong, the creatures that looks like a bunch of that skeleton-looking aliens things that's in the old EU or whatever it is. That he was doing some sketches on that for Rebels. So them going to this other galaxy because they're the ones who invade our galaxy.
Back in the day, and they're the ones that made hyperdrive.
You're the one. Yeah, you're the ones talking about the Knights of the Old Republic. It was the aliens that had the heads like kind of
the eyes are like this, like a weird hammer.
They got all kind of
they got a bulb head, but like hammerhead eyes. Yeah, because they made hyperdrive, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
They were exactly.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Because Thrawn's people were overran by them, right? At one point.
Yeah. Well, that's when he joined. I suppose that's why he joined the Empire to protect his own planet from that invading species, because they come from that other galaxy. Because they said their scout ship looks like those whales. Yeah. That's why they said those whales might be their scout ships.
So, Shifty
they're like
says,
the Borg. They're like the Borg. Because they don't use technology. They use like living matter on stuff. That's the way their technology is.
So Shifty says, also, why didn't Anakin have a scar? Right? He did not have a scar.
That de-aging.
That bad CGI, man.
Yeah, get a good plastic surgeon.
Yeah, that was terrible. See if I can find a pic of it.
The alien?
Of that de-aging.
Oh yeah.
Right here. I got it right here.
Yeah, it was cool, but then when I looked, you were dead in his face. I'm like, oh. No.
He looks like he should be in a Twilight movie.
It's like those old Pepsi commercials, right? You want a Pepsi?
But he looks like Edward from the Twilight. the way they have him like all.
I have not been in the sun.
He starts glimmering and shit.
I've been in the caves of Dathomir. He's not able to leave. Yeah, that's exactly, man. And that was not that. It was cool to see him, but yeah, and those
aliens were called a Rakata. Rakata. Yes.
Yeah, Rakata. Yeah. And American Talent song going. Tim says it will become the Disney poison apple. If Apple buys Disney, yeah, it depends who they keep along after the purchase. Because if they have the same people,
what would Wozniak do?
Top,
What would Wozniak do?
It would not. It would not. Well, in any takeover, right? They don't usually dump.
They clean house. They clean
house eventually, but they might keep certain critical people on place unless they have somebody that they know they can trust, that they know that can do the job. Yeah. So
Kathleen Kennedy.
What's up, Danny? Danny's in the house.
What's up, Danny?
Coming to us straight from his vehicle. What else? DQ says Ahsoka might be coming to theaters for a short time. Episode 5. Thoughts?
Yeah,
we were talking about that actually, and I think that's cool.
Maybe it might be a long episode. Then it's going to be in theaters.
That's
it
what
would
I'm saying.
have to be, but
an hour at least.
But the problem though, I would think with this being released in theater is that I could watch the episode 5 in the comfort of my own home, basically for free.
That's for fanatics and stuff like that who are like, they'll probably have a special event and stuff like that.
That's for the fanatics that dress up as Star Wars characters and will be there with their lightsabers.
Yeah.
Power to you guys.
As long as Jack Black and Blizzard
I can't wait for them to dress up as Jedi Eminem.
Jedi.
Oh my god! Wouldn't that suck though? Go to the theater and it's a filler episode. You get one of those Jack Black.
If this episode,
that'd be like LDG. You'd be like,
come on, Jason. Money back, Come on, Jason. You know, if this episode, come on, man.
I seen Danny. Come on. I had to stick up the room a little bit.
Damn. Walk away from the hate, Jason. You do realize if they bring this out to the theater,
all this peace and love, I got to get a little hate in there,
Listen, even I had to walk away from the hate for this show because this show actually isn't that bad.
I haven't hated nothing so far. This has been a good.
It's not total hate, guys. It's heavy criticism.
Yeah, it's just.
But you see, heavy criticism is one thing, but if it's heavy criticism all the time,
can I just say I am so happy that Merrick is not Star Killer, or at least they haven't confirmed it yet. Because listen, Star Killer is my favorite character.
Yeah,
I was happy about that too. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys. It's like I come on here. I just get a good show. I get a good laugh. I don't go on and start playing Mario Kart for 2 hours and start just bashing Disney like some people do. So that's
Yeah. Tim says, I'm convinced that Ezra used the whale to transport Thrawn to our galaxy. Thrawn's skin and hair turned orange and became president for. Oh my god! I'm like, where is he going with this? Then I finished. Yeah. Hey, Tim, are you having some of those shrooms, man? I don't know, man. What if the cigar thing from Star Trek 4 came to Earth looking for whales because they encountered Murgos in hypership at one point?
Oh my god!
There we go. Here we go. Yeah.
I wasn't
The journey home. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. That was a great episode. Actually, movie. The journey home. That was nice. What's up, Danny?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so how did you like it, buddy? How did you like that episode?
I thought it was the best episode so far.
Yeah.
I would have to.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's
Only
see here.
nitpick, they need to speed up the lightsaber fight. Slow. Maybe that because the choreography they didn't practice as much as Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen did.
Right. Oh no, you can't compare to that one.
But they could speed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Better.
Yeah, that's you're right on that. You're definitely right on that. It is slow. It is slow.
It is slow, yeah.
I got a question for Danny. Danny, what do you think of Balin as a character, new Star Wars character? Do you think? I think he's like a shot. A great. I mean, we ain't had that kind of character in a long time. I think he's amazing as a character, and I sucks that the actor passed away because I would love to see more of this character.
Yeah, I think he's competent. I won't say amazing. I mean, I like him as a villain. He has a certain kind of confidence.
Yes.
That we have seen. He's like the cool side of the pillar, and then his Padawan's like the crazy side of the pillar. So I mean, I think they're the yin and yang to each other.
Oh yeah.
But I hate that to die in real life because I'm like you. I would like to see him in a future episodes.
Love to see more of his backstory.
But you know who they both remind me of? They reminded me of Anakin and Ahsoka, but a darker version.
Yeah.
Than what we got in Rebels, right? Because Ahsoka was very impatient and always wanted to be trusted and always wanted to do that. And you can see that this same Padawan wants the same thing. She wants to.
I think Anakin and Ahsoka had a lot more banter back and forth.
Yeah.
It's kind of like quiet. It reminds me kind of like you remember that movie with Jet Li, and he had the chain around his neck. And then when the man would take the chain around his neck.
Oh my god, what movie was that?
Unleashed.
He would go berserk.
Oh yeah, Jet Li. Yeah. I remember that.
Tim says Ahsoka name dropped heir to the Empire. LOL. I'm betting I know the next move that are coming. Well, depends what they take from that source material, right? Basel says Sabine was so effing dumb. I can't believe such a weak character is a fan favorite. I'm glad I never watched Rebels. The thing is that in Rebels, she wasn't like that.
No,
she wasn't like that. That's the thing.
She was more cool and collective.
Yeah,
Yeah. It had like a
I
little.
realize too that sometimes animation doesn't translate well into live action.
That's true.
I watched several content creators that's all this negative stuff, and they calling Dave Filoni a hack. He is not a hack, but they gotta know that he got his start off in animation. So there is some sort of a learning curve when you translate animation to live and live to animation.
Thank you. Right out there, Danny.
No, I agree. Like sometimes it doesn't transfer over to live action as well. We've seen 1,000 times in movies and stuff.
That's the thing. Like Danny was hitting on right now about him being a hack. Because why? Because he stayed next to what was the director from his name? Mine escapes me from The Last Jedi.
Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson, right? Because they're saying how Rian Johnson had him there in order to learn the ropes. How is that a hack when you're learning in the industry? It's like myself being next to my IT guy when I was trying to learn the networking, the network aspect of what my job is. How is that being it's not being a hack. It's bettering yourself, right? And professionalism. And he did.
They work for the same company.
Exactly.
What do you? They work together. They have to work together. Like, what do you expect? They're not being a hack. He's working.
All right, and,
You know?
and there's something like, I'm gonna echo right now, and whatever, I'll get whatever heat when I don't have thousands and thousands of subs, so I'm probably not gonna get that much heat. But people, let's be honest, this is the most George Lucas Star Wars we have gotten from Disney.
Yeah.
Right. And so much about saying Ahsoka is overrated. Fine, she's overrated. But remember, George Lucas was still in charge when Ahsoka was created.
Yes.
So George Lucas had to say and
on this character,
green light Dave Filoni's, Clone Wars, which remember the first was a movie that came into the theaters. I don't know how well it did. Actually, someone can check that out for me.
I don't think it did well, but I can definitely vote for you.
Yeah, because I remember I got premiere seats downtown to see that, right? And I went with my kids and stuff, and it was different, right? But is she overrated? When people like YouTubers say, "Oh, but she wasn't mentioned by Anakin and Revenge of the Sith," of course not, because
all right. So I got the results for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So its budget was $8.5 million. It made $68.3 million. So technically, it was a success, but it is the lowest grossing Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but it's also an animated movie too. On top of that, the first animated movie. So
Yeah.
But no, I do agree with you though, Guy Star, because like I'm not the biggest Dave Filoni guy. I think we've all documented this. I've called him out and said, hey, this guy really needs to figure out where, because I think the problem is people put him on a pedestal, and I think that's why he's overrated. I don't think he deserves to be put on a pedestal, to be honest with you. Like, yes, he did make the Clone Wars. Yes, I'll give him credit for that. But that's that's really as much as he's really done. I mean, and don't get me wrong, this show is good. I'll even man up and say it. I'm not gonna sit here and be a shill for Disney Star Wars, but I will openly say I like the show, because at least compared to every other show, it looks like there was a lot more care put into it. It looks like there's a bit more money put into it. Like, it's just, the problem is, it's like, and I think it's like someone said it best, is like people are just so ingrained to hate this shit automatically that it's almost like they can't take they can't take off those. It's almost like they have a bias, and it's because of who owns Star Wars. And granted, I understand, because literally everything that Disney has done to Star Wars and Lucasfilm, and what Lucasfilm also did to Star Wars. Yes,
right on.
I am perfectly. I understand
because of the politics. Yeah,
right. Yeah, but it's just like, because I saw someone on Twitter said, look, at the end of the day, when you take off the just the glasses of pure hatred, the show is actually solid. I'm not saying it's the best thing ever made, because at that point, then yes, I would argue that's overrated. But the show is good. Like, and
it's not perfect, but it's better than what we've gotten.
It is good, and it's a shame, because to me, and I think I was talking with somebody else in DMs about it, is like, a lot of these, and it's really the bigger channels that are like, oh, the show sucks, is because, and this is just me, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think a lot of it just comes down to because they also want to check. They want money, and they know that the only way to make money is to shit on it.
You're not totally wrong. You're not totally wrong.
That's the way. Yeah,
you're not totally wrong with that. Let me get to more chats here. If you change the path of Luke, where he and Ben are cool and Rey is evil. Path of Luke, where he and Ben are cool and Rey is evil. Yeah, who knows? Who knows where this can change, right? It's like with the World Between Worlds, that we said it from the very beginning when we saw that episode in Rebels. Like that's their whiteboard eraser that they can do whatever they want, right? And take it, right? Tim says The Force Awakens was self-aware that it was rebooting a New Hope. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but The Force Awakens should have just killed Leia, in my opinion. She should have died when that ship exploded. She should have just, in all honesty, she passed away in real life, Carrie Fisher, and I think that would have been
what made sense.
More than made sense, And then and yeah, but they made they ridiculed Luke. And let's not get into that. Shifty says they won't reboot now though, as they had their chance before Book of Boba Fett and tossed it all out the window with Grogu leaving Luke. Yeah, that was desperation in marketing. That was bad decision. They saw how much people love to see that green little dude, and they had to bring Mandalorian into another episode, into another show, in order to come and get him.
Yeah,
and people that did not watch Book of Boba Fett when they went back to Mandalorian. What the hell? Grogu's back? What the hell just happened?
So you gotta remember when Mandalorian came out, Disney had no toys for a
good while.
Because they did not expect that character to even be anything.
Yeah, they had they were coming out with toys, but they weren't doing as well because there was they weren't selling. They weren't selling, and that's the thing. A lot of these collectors that were buying these toys were and are the OG fans, right? Those are the main consumers of their toys and the memorabilia. And when you piss them off with dumb politics, well, guess what? They're not gonna dish out the money and stuff. So yeah. DQ says still say Rey would have done better as a Sith. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Rey would have been better as a Sith?
I don't like her character to begin with, so whatever.
I don't give. It's like Danny's show last week. I don't give a rat's ass. Land on the champions. Hey guys. Hey man. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry, man. I was late to get to your chat, but I'm happy everybody's here. I have 8 people in the chat. Remember, guys, hit that like. Please leave a comment after for all those that are rewatching and stuff, or after the show. Please comment. That helps the algorithm.
Well,
Land on the Champion says, absolutely loving this show so far. Filoni needs the keys to Star Wars right now. All he has to do now is stick the landing. Yes,
that's the biggest issue.
Has to be stopped.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because this is an issue with all the shows as a whole. Because it can start out really good, and even the middle portion's good. It's the landing that ultimately ends up. It'll make or break your show, because if you don't stick the landing, then it makes watching the entire thing a waste of time.
Yeah.
Prime example: Secret Invasion.
They gotta.
Oh my God! Was that?
Yeah, they gotta make people want to see that movie coming up. They gotta.
It's gotta end on.
You gotta leave on a major cliffhanger that's gonna have big implications to the future.
That's why I'm saying Luke.
And when that movie comes out, we'll know if they actually did reboot it or not. Because if Snoke is nowhere involved in that, well, because that means they went a different direction. Then, because you got to have Snoke in there eventually. I mean, it's get to that point.
Tim says, I just find the show okay. Well, you know what? I'm glad you find it okay, and that's good. Yeah, there are a couple of nitpicks, but they don't bother me as much. Just please stick the landing 100%. 100%. It's not a perfect show, but like I said before, and I think a lot of you on the panel agree with me, this is the better Star Wars that we've gone since George Lucas. Better. Not better than George Lucas, but better since George Lucas and what we got. I have to say, Andor was the other one that was good.
That's right now my favorite show of all the Star Wars that have been on Disney Plus.
Andor's storytelling, yes, it was long. Yes, it seemed bland for many, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
That was a spy thriller, kind of like I enjoy this type of movies and shows. So for me, that show was good.
Yeah. And I was involved in it because of Rogue One, because I really liked
Rogue One. I love that's one of my favorite ones to Rogue One, so it kind of like a good tie and to give more explanation of that.
Out of the whole Disney movies, Rogue One was by far the best Disney Star Wars movie, 100%. Ahsoka's fighting style is kind of slow. Yes, Danny was saying that earlier. He was on. He had a bad connection, guys, so I don't think he was coming back on. He said that it should be sped up, but I agree. It should be faster because we got used to seeing fast swinging, and there's no way it was going to be Anakin and Obi-Wan level, because they trained
a whole lot
for that, and you can tell that Rosario Dawson did not train that much for this. But it was slow, but I liked it. I enjoyed that scene absolutely. Let's see here. Darth Santa is awesome. Darth Santa, damn man. Balin is the best character in the show, 100%.
Yeah.
Ray Stevens acted his ass. Yeah,
I agree with that one.
Man,
Yes.
it is sad. It really is.
Yeah. I want to see more of him in the future, man.
100%. And where's this gonna lead? Is he, has he died in this? Like,
I think he does die in it. I think he does die in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Balin is definitely one of the best. People saying this episode was better than the Luke episode, and I wouldn't go that far. I'm glad you brought that because that was actually one of my questions. Do you guys think this had a Luke Skywalker moment with Anakin at the end?
Luke had a better entrance than this.
Okay.
I feel like the problem it's hard to compare because it was during two different time periods, right? Like because the Luke moment happened around the end of 2020, early 2021, where like at least there was at least some hope.
Yeah.
Now in the span of 2 years, imagine taking that hope and then strangling that hope until it's so dry that you just like anything will surprise you and be like, oh my god, that's pretty cool. But it kind of goes back to the same problem with these shows too that I have is the nostalgia baiting. Now, granted, I like Anakin coming back. That's cool and all. But but when you see this shit happen all the time, it starts to make you roll your eyes and go, okay, that's kind of cool, but it didn't have the same impact. When that Luke Skywalker moment happened, that was surprising because you didn't know what was going to happen. Whereas with Anakin, you kind of already knew Hayden Christensen was already going to be involved in some way.
Yeah, because it wasn't kept like
it was a trailer.
It wasn't. Exactly.
Yeah, we all saw his name. I agree with Austin. Like back then, we didn't expect it to happen. Now we kind of expect it to happen. So it doesn't have that big gas moment when you see it, or that big, surprise moment where people are like crying and everything because Luke came back.
Right. And there's a lot of people that have problems with that, bringing back characters, right? In order to like, but if it makes sense, and
they're not bringing them back because it's a timeline thing.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for him to still be around and doing stuff.
Yeah. I think honestly, man, Luke has to show up at some point. If not in the series, in the movie, because
he's getting Jedi together again.
But not that. You keep throwing heir to the Empire. Luke was one of the major roles in that. It was Luke. Luke was one of the major people in that whole trilogy.
We had all of them, right? Chewie and all of them, though. Could they all be in there?
Yes, they can. They can, right? Absolutely. But let's face it. I don't think they're going to bring them all back.
No.
But Luke was one of the main characters, right? Andor had more care put into it. It's perfect.
Andor had better writing of all the.
I can agree with you a little on that Nindroid. It's just that he's at least trying to bring back old school Star Wars vibes compared to others. Yes, he is.
He is. I'll give him that. But the problem is it's taken him so long to do it that it's almost like I'm not saying it's pointless now because I appreciate this show coming out, but I think me and Nindroid were talking about this is that Ahsoka should have came out after Mandalorian season 2. Because
it was too late to bring it out.
Yeah.
I think it would have done better before. Yeah, right after Mandalorian season 2, on the hype of the Skywalker moment.
Yeah,
and then you put it more in space of the actual timeline, so people aren't confused of what's the events are happening.
Exactly. Tim says Leia dying was the Last Jedi, dude. I know it was. I was saying that I would have. She died in The Rise of Skywalker in the movies.
At the beginning, right?
Yeah. Well,
no.
She's still alive right now. If you want to do that,
yeah.
Right now, she's still alive.
We could bring Mara Jade in,
which she was rumored to also, to have a young Leia in this, to have Leia in this. It was a rumor of some kind of. Anyways, it was
CGI.
Yeah, CGI, but don't really take what I'm saying because that was really like.
Yeah,
somebody showed them out. Hey, Danny says, DJ, I saw your review of Coast Contra Breath and Stop. Those cats are fire. When they spitting around that table, that is fire.
Yeah, if you guys like hip hop, check out Close Contra. There's like
I have to check it out.
True hip hop. Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
All right.
Tim says, "I'm sorry, Leon not dying was exactly." DQ says, "Why am I getting all these email pop-ups up all of a sudden?" Imagine the uproar if they did kill Leia. If they did kill Leia in The Last Jedi, it would make sense because she passed away after the filming of that. So it would have been, if that scene where she actually passed away actually happened, they could have worked around that and actually, the son killed the mother and the father.
Mm-hmm. They should have killed her then and then saved Luke for the last one. That's what they should have done.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't have killed Luke. Exactly, 100%. We were trying to accept Han's coming death. Double whammy. Actually, Han should have survived that lightsaber stab, so he probably died from the fall. Drop Shop's in the house, bud. It's been a minute, man. I hope you're doing well. Hey, everyone. Man, great to see you, man. Rey should have been a clone, and the Knights of Ren lesser powered Rey clones. I guess.
We're gonna get the Knights of Ren in here too.
Yeah. Hey, Drop Shop. Tim says Rogue One was only good because of the third act. The first two acts were so full of nonsense dialogue and characters shifting motivations at the drop of the hat. Also, people making random comments. Well, yeah, it was okay, man. I know people had issues with Jane Orso's acting in the first half, but no, man, it was whatever. You're right to your opinion, man. Yeah. But I wanted to see oh my god, Donnie Yen, a character like I wished he would show force powers, right? Because all we kept hearing him, I'm one with the force is with me. I'm one with the force is with me. I would have loved that character to actually have some kind of force.
When he was walking across the beach, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool ass. I like that.
Yeah.
I agree. This is the closest to Lucasverse. It's Rogue One level. Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I was crying during the Luke entrance scene like everyone else, but it was still at a great moment. Listen, I'm not going to ridicule anybody who feels something emotional attachment to type of art, man. That's a personal attachment to it, right? I know Star Wars theories got blasted, right, when he cried on that, like he was ridiculed by Disney execs on top of it, or Disney producer or whatever,
which made no sense. That's what you want when you want the people, your fans, to have those kind of moments,
100%. And you know what? Like, he had a history, right? Or why he felt like that, because he had cancer when he was a kid, and that's the movies he watched during his whole, So I get it, and we don't know how Star Wars, affected other people. I remember when the prequels came out, man. I was super stoked because Star Wars was such a big thing growing up for me. So I was super stoked. I hated Jar Jar, but that was just me. For me, it was like I hated Jar Jar. And I hated the fact that Darth Maul died so fast, in my opinion. Like, I was like, shit, this guy's freaking cool, man. And they just killed him off that way. But overall, I was happy that Star Wars was back in the theater, right? And Clone Wars, I loved it. And don't get me even started on Revenge of the Sith. I was like, holy crap, right? But I remember being so happy. We're actually going to see what Obi-Wan was talking about on Tatooine about, I fought with your father in the Clone Wars. Like, it was great, man. I was like, we're actually going to see this, right? That's the thing now, right? There's no attachment to the storyline, right? Like the fact that George did it that way. I'm calling George like I know him, right?
Besties.
Yeah, man, we go like this. Like the way he went back to, like, obviously he had a plan, but when we heard certain dialogues and then we got that in the prequels. That was pretty freaking awesome. Yeah. That was pretty awesome. They fly now. Who flies now? They fly now. Who flies now?
I don't know.
I don't know. Everybody flies, depending on what drugs to take. Don't do drugs. No, it wasn't the first 2 acts of Rogue One who were awful. Scrutinizing the dialogue, you will see it. Did you know that Donnie actually suggested his character line because he felt his character wasn't interesting? Oh, that was stupid. But, yeah, I want to be a blind Asian man in space. Yes, that makes sense. A pretty emotional moment. Star Wars theory wasn't alone. Yeah, 100%. A lot of us, man. I choked up, man. I got goosebumps, and then I was like,
it's just like when we were watching Endgame and Infinity War.
Oh, yes.
When Cap just picked up Mora, I jumped out my seat. I was like, I was hyped, like, you know.
The theater went up and roared.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. And then Thor goes, I knew it.
Yeah.
A pretty emotional moment. Star Wars. Yeah. Okay. Shifty says, why isn't it working? I'm one with the Force. The Force with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force with light as a feather, stiff as a board. What? Jar Jar was awesome. What's you was thinking? He is ultimately drunken Sith Lord Darth Infinity War. Man, remember that whole thing with Dark Jar Jar that they wanted?
Yeah, like he was actually a Sith and everything.
This is so funny. Oh, yeah, those theories, man. Don't get the Rise of Skywalker reference that bad. Skywalker reference.
Look at that, they fly now.
Oh, don't get the reference. Oh, they fly now. I don't remember. That's why I'm telling you. There's like, I don't remember. I just don't. What other points that I had here before we close it up? Ahsoka walking up to outside that Marok was witchcraft finally, right? Because of the green smoke. But I was like, everybody with all their theories must have been. That's all we got. Dave, thanks, Dave. Thanks for cooking us. That's why he was in red in the credits. This little symbol. Yeah, man. Like who could the ghost been? Cal Kestis? Cal from Droid Fallen Order? Well, we don't know. All these theories, they don't mean shit. Oh my god. So overall, guys, what's your ratings on this?
This episode?
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite of the 4. So I would give it a solid 9.
Solid 9. Nice.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you say?
I'm between a 9 and 8.5. I think it was really good.
9.845. Fair enough. Austinator.
8.5.
8.5. G major.
I'm gonna go with 8.5.
8.5. I have to go with 8.5. Chat, what do you say? What do you say? Give me yours. Let's see. There's 5 people that are left here.
Yeah.
What do you say?
So what do you think next week?
Better not be us. That
we was talking
it's
about
us
emotional moments.
watching.
We was talking about emotional moments and surprises. I wish Danny was in here because I would say what could happen next week because
Mace Windu shows up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We're all stranded on this planet. And there's a cave in there. Mace Windu comes out there with his blade and say, "Let's find that mother beep," and then they go off.
All right, so we got balls.
Wearing an eye patch.
Yeah,
says nah. It was a 7 out of 10. Tim says 6, 7, or 6.5.
Damn.
And it was
some harsh critics in here, man.
Pretty good. Give me that rating, Shifty.
You got some harsh critics, man.
Harsh
Harsh
critics.
critics.
10, man. Come on, Shifty. Come on, Shifty.
Smoke another one, man. Come smoke another one, mushroom, man. Come on.
Yeah, I gave it an 8.5, man. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I found it was nice. It was a nice. It was fresh. It was a refreshing. It was like. It's like, when you're stuck in the freaking subway and then, you get that little, gust of wind when the doors open up in the next station. You're like, you can breathe again.
I don't have subways here. So I don't know.
It makes you ready for next week. You're excited for next week.
Yes,
exactly. And that's what I've been missing out of shows.
We ain't had that in a while,
Yeah,
I'm ready for next. Let's get next week. I'm excited. Like,
how many of you watch it at 9? Like when it's 9 o'clock. I gotta watch Ahsoka.
I usually do, not this week. I've been passing out at night.
Yeah, well, you were.
I watched it. Yeah.
You were in the world between worlds.
But no, yeah, exactly. But no, I watch it the night that it comes out now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shifty said it was a big old smile on the Game Pro rating system.
Yeah.
He still doesn't want to give me a rating, man. All right, man.
All right.
He says it was a pretty. So 3 pretties. I say that justifies as an 8. Pretty, because it's because all the E's, so definitely it's an 8.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He probably gave like a B. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. It was a B, man. It was A. I got you, Capo. Look at being all cryptic, man. Jesus. Yeah. Next week, what do you think it's gonna be? Like, you all said Thrawn next week, right? Thrawn next week.
At the end, I bet. At the end, I don't think they will get around.
I think that the last 10 seconds we'll see him like walk the back of his head.
Yeah, this is a Filoni, and if it's gonna be in the movies, it's gonna be something big.
Yeah.
If selective theaters are chosen to show this, it's gonna be.
Yeah, I checked my theaters and I didn't see any of them up this way, but they might say something over the weekend, so you never know.
Well, we could see like Amando might show. Like I said, I figured they're gonna try to group back together, so we might see a bunch of appearances from different characters. Like, that's the only thing I'm really thinking. Like in Thrawn, in the very, very last little bit.
So it says Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, Boston, Orlando. And
fuck you, Canada. Fuck you. You're not getting shit, Canada.
And then London, Bangkok, and Sao Paulo.
Wow.
Bangkok's got one over to Canada.
Some down in Bangkok makes the world go under.
Oh, easy. I remember that jam.
Oh my god! All right, man, let's do this. Anybody running through the chat? Ahsoka will get. We'll go back to TGE Temple from Rebels to reach the World Between Worlds next week, and she comes back with the gray hood.
She's already well. I guess
it'll be like the butterfly effect, living that whole moment all over again. I don't know.
Still comes back.
Yeah. No one truly dies in Star Wars. We live forever. All right, my druggy man.
I
got you,
the meds are kicking in, man. The meds are kicking in. Nah, I'm DJ Talking Black Guy, the sick COVID, high on cold medicine. Black Talking Black. I can't even talk right now. But yeah, follow me on my channel. On here Wednesday nights and other places. It's right up to drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I hope you feel better, man. I appreciate you jumping on, man. I do.
I'm about to pass out after this.
863 effect. Jason Lee.
What I was gonna say, as long as we don't get that flash effect where they keep going back where the Batman gets killed and
over and over.
We can fix it. We can fix it. We can make this better. Yeah.
Oh shit. Check out channel. I got 2 football games coming up. High school games coming tomorrow and Friday. So I've been doing a lot of clips on that, doing really good. I'm only 250 subs away from 10K. So I'm busy.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I told you that video you sticking that suppository up your butt would work.
I know that was a winner there.
Yeah.
Got a hold that one. But yeah, check it out, guys.
Check his channel. It's not true, guys. It's all right. I'm just Oh, I just muted him. Shut up. Sorry, man. Sorry. Were you done? Sorry.
That's gonna be the exclusive. Between that and me watching my cockadoodle-doos. I mean,
that's just cockadoodle-doos. Oh my god. Yeah, you got a lot of videos with those cockadoodle-doos. All right, Austinator, man.
Yeah. Hello everybody. I'm the Austinator. Originally this is the part where I would say, I'm not doing anything. Well, guess what? I'm coming back. Even if it's for a brief period of time, I'll actually do streams on my channel. I'm probably going to be focusing more on the wrestling side of things because I actually want to talk about stuff that I want to talk about. Actually, we'll be doing a stream tomorrow with Shifty. We're going to be talking about the first 2 episodes of WCW Monday Nitro. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So
that is awesome, man.
check that out. Also, you can find me on my friend and / roommate Mystic Wolves. We are playing every Five Nights at Freddy's game on his channel, where we're preparing for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie in the only way we can, and that's playing all the games. So check him out. I'm basically on everybody else's channels, and I'm on Twitter, so just check me out wherever you can. Guys, thanks for having me on.
Yo, great having you, man. Like always, brother. All right. And Mr. G Major, what's up? No. Oh yeah, I almost messed that up too. But
yeah, see, there you go. What up, though?
on
Yeah, I've been trying to get some more content down. I'm sorry, the guys. I've been trying to get get
fucking
some content
slacking,
out,
man. You're fucking slacking.
I know, man. Fatigue, man, from treatment's killing me, man.
Oh shit.
So yeah. So hopefully this week or this weekend I'll be doing some stuff. Let you guys know what's going on. Thank you for having me on. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for being here, man, and I hope everything goes well.
Thank you.
And yes, I am Basco Scenario. Guys, goes my name, and I have to thank Basil and everybody that's been here. Basil's last comment was, "Yep, Thrawn is gonna be episode 6 because next episode it's the rebels figuring out how to get to them." I agree. Repair ships and Ahsoka coming back to conscious on the shores. You think? Yeah, like saying, yeah, I can see that. The whales are gonna come out of the water.
Yeah.
Dory's gonna be there. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much. Basil, Shifty, Tim, who else was it? DQ. Even we got Drop Shop that stopped by after a long minute, man. I appreciate it. I'm sure you watched some of the replay. Land on the Champion was in the house as well. And for everybody watching this on the replay and back on Rumble, thank you. I appreciate every single view. I appreciate every single comment. I appreciate every thumbs up and thumbs down, because you know what? This is fun, guys, and I appreciate even everybody on this panel. So thank you guys again. And saying that, we are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.